All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. Welcome. Today is Monday, April 23rd, 2018, the beginning of a new full week of gameplay streaming. Going to be a lot of fun this week, although, what we do this week will be determined by how things go. So we'll play it by ear and we'll see. All right. I'll explain in just a moment on pre-stream. However, I would like to say thank you guys for being here. Welcome. How are you? Today is a double stream day. And what that means, guys, is that today I will be doing 2 full gameplay streams. Full day of gameplay streaming. What will you see on today's streams? Let me explain. First, it will be God of War continuing on. This will be actually my 3rd. Well, I take it back. It's really my 4th official, kind of session/day playing it. Because remember, I did launch night. Then I did all day Friday, and then I did yesterday. So today is kind of the 4th session. Already about 12 and a half hours into the game. So, continuing on from there, we shall see how the game goes. I'm excited. I just unlocked the ability to open the red tree sap puzzles. And I've run into a bunch of these over the course of the game already. So the first thing I'm going to do today is backtrack a little bit, going through the open world of the Lake of Nine, as it's called, or whatever, and going to all the different side platforms just to see which chests I could not open previously, and trying to grab a few of them. All right, and then we'll continue on with the story. So today's going to be a mix. We'll start off with a little bit of the side content exploration. And then we'll jump right back into the story advancement and see where the game takes us, okay? So, that being said, I hope you guys are ready for more God of War goodness. I've played it, like I said, 3-4 sessions before this. I've really enjoyed it. Definitely one of my favorite games in a long time. Great combat, great visuals, good story, exploration. Everything you would look for in a great AAA-style release is in this game, all right? Later tonight will be Yakuza 6, the continuation. I've only done 2 hours of gameplay of this game, but out of that, an hour and a half was backstory elaboration. So finally tonight, we're going to get into the meat of Yakuza 6, all right, which I'm excited for. Hope you guys are excited for, too. About 2 hours of that later tonight, starting at 6:15 p.m. Pacific time. And then tomorrow should be the same. There'll be more God of War with more Yakuza 6, all right. Wednesday, guys. Wednesday currently is up in the air. All right. Currently is up in the air. Why? Well, allow me to explain, guys. All right. So I've been wondering, as I've been playing God of War these past few days, what's going on with the streams? Because the streams I've noticed haven't had very high attendance and really very low participation. I mean, I'll be honest with you guys, and this still stands true. The past 2-3 days that I've been streaming God of War have been some of the slowest streaming days I've had in the past year that I've been streaming full time. All right, obviously, that's not a good thing. If I'm playing a big high-profile new release, where is everybody, right? So, overnight, I put up a poll on Twitter, and the results were very eye-opening, because the bottom line is, guys, the viewership on YouTube, on DSPGaming on YouTube for this playthrough, is very good. In fact, it's one of the best, if not the best playthrough I've done in the past 6 months. And it's only been live since Friday. So that's good. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, in 3 days, already it's performing as the best playthrough I've done in quite a long time. So that's good news, all right? And the fact that the game is long means that this is probably going to be a playthrough that a lot of people are going to be watching for a while, all right? So it's a good thing. But what is going on with the streams then, right? It doesn't seem to make sense. It doesn't correlate. So I did a poll overnight on Twitter, and the poll had 4 options. It was, how are you currently following along my God of War coverage? The first option was, well, I'm watching it on DSPGaming on YouTube. The second option was, well, actually, I'm not watching it at all right now, but I am planning on watching it later once I personally get further into the game myself because I'm playing it. The third option was, I'm currently watching it live on Twitch on daily streams. And the fourth option was, I'm not interested whatsoever in God of War. Now, the truth of the matter is, folks, I really don't care about whoever, voted for option 4. Because the bottom line is, I like God of War. I'm going to keep playing it. All right, it's a game that I'm really enjoying. And regardless of the fact if there's a group of people who don't like the game or whatever, It doesn't matter. It's negligible, right? So, what I did is I focused in on the people who answered the first 3 options. And here's what I discovered. You're going to be fascinated by these results. I actually got some really good data overnight from this Twitter poll. Approximately 40% of the people who are going to watch my God of War playthrough are watching it on YouTube right now. About 40%. Okay? About 40% of the people are not watching it at all yet because they've said they're playing it themselves, but once they're done, then they're going to come watch it on YouTube on demand. And then 20% of the people voted and said, oh, I'm watching it live on stream every day. So this makes perfect sense. All right? It does. It makes absolutely perfect sense. Why is the attendance low on stream? Because only 20% of my overall viewing audience is showing up. You know, most people are playing the game themselves and then watching on YouTube, or only watching on YouTube as it is. So for God of War, this is kind of be an exception to the rule kind of deal, where because I am creating YouTube videos that are on demand at your leisure whenever you have a chance to watch them later, a lot of people are not coming to the streams because they don't want to spoil the game for themselves. All right. Now, it's this simple, guys. Because there are some people who are just so ignorant, right? After years and years and years of trying to compare me to everybody else on the planet, they still don't understand it doesn't work. Because there's some people, but I don't understand. There's big streamers out there who are getting thousands of viewers for God of War, and Phil can't get that, so I don't get it. All right. 2 things. Number 1, their viewing audience is not my audience. Their viewing audience is their viewing audience. Meaning these are people who are coming out to watch those particular streamers, not me. So it's not the same people. It's not the same viewer base. That's number 1. Number 2, those people have now had 5 years of constant abuse on YouTube, where YouTube has promoted and propagated negative, slanderous, defamatory videos against those streamers. So in general, yes, it's easy for those streamers to bring in common viewers who want to see them play a hot new game, because they don't say, oh, isn't that the guy who whacked off on stream? Isn't that the guy who scams his patrons? And isn't that the guy who's a pedophile? And isn't that the guy who's a racist? And isn't that the guy for This Is How You Don't Play? And isn't that the guy? You see what I mean? You see what I mean? It's stupid as fuck, because the truth of the matter is, for those who actually give me a shot, and people who come in and watch my streams, most people have come to me and say, you know what? You're great. This is entertaining. It's fun. You really don't do anything much different from the big guy streamers. In fact, a lot of people have come in and complimented me and said, Phil, you actually go out of your way to give shout outs and thank those who contribute with cheers and subs and tips. And a lot of the big streamers don't even do that. So you're actually above and beyond what those big guys do. The only problem is you got this negative stigma attached to you. So it's very hard for a common person who has, you know, maybe just looking for someone to random to play the game to come in and watch you, because, you know, you've got that negative stigma attached. And so what they're going to do, if there's a common person who's just looking for someone to play the game, they're going to go to one of these big guys who just gets overhyped and gets tens of thousands of views no matter what they play. You know, and I hate to say it, all right, if these big streamers who are supposed they're getting thousands of videos on God of War were thumb wrestling for 8 hours, if they were taking a shit for 8 hours, all right? If they were walking down the fucking street, skipping over cracks on the sidewalk for 8 hours, they'd probably still get the same attendance. So it's a moot point when people try to compare me to big streamers or big YouTubers. It's not an apples to apples comparison. It's just not. My viewing base is different, and the fact of the situation is, for 5 years, people have shat all over me on the internet for personal gain. YouTube has done nothing to help defend me against it. And so the common person turns away from my streams and videos. So even though, all right, even though I do have a very nice, long-running, dedicated, hardcore fan base of viewers, and the fact that I do have newcomers who do come in and give me a shot and realize that I'm not all those negative things people say about me, I'm never going to get that influx positive element of here comes a bunch of people to watch me play the hot new release. That's always going to go to someone else, you know? And it sucks, but it's just reality, you know? So, this is actually a unique situation, guys. All right. It's a unique situation where, because I actually have stayed on YouTube, and I did not completely abandon my YouTube channel and viewership, it may actually work out. Because even though things are slow on stream right now, if stuff stays good on YouTube, right? If the views are staying consistently good on YouTube. And eventually, if we are seeing more people come into the streams, which naturally is going to happen anyway, all right? And, you know, if everything keeps going the way it's going, then we'll be all right. But what I am nervous about, and I talked about this yesterday on stream and in the weekend preview, is what happens if now, even though 40% of the people are watching the playthrough on YouTube and 40% say they're going to watch on YouTube, what if that doesn't happen? What if it tapers off? Because typically what happens with a very long playthrough, like God of War, from all reports, could be 40 hours long. All right. So, that being said, you know, what happens if the viewership tapers off on YouTube? What if we see a sharp decline, say, tomorrow or Wednesday? You know, that initial group of people who wanted to see the beginning of the game have watched, and then it dies out. All right. Well, if that's the case, guys, and if the streams don't pick up, then what I'm going to have to do is exactly what I suggested yesterday and in the weekend preview last night. I'm going to have to mix it up. You know, even though I'm really enjoying God of War, you know, this is a business. This is the way that I put food on my table, and I pay my bills, and I pay my taxes. And if I don't make money, I can't keep doing it. So the bottom line is, if by the middle of this week things aren't picking up, or at least maintaining where they are on YouTube, I'm going to have to make an executive decision. All right. And that being said, I'm just going to have to switch it up. So maybe this Wednesday, that's why I said Wednesday is up in the air. Maybe on Wednesday, if things don't go so well, I'm going to have to switch back to Bloodborne for a day. And maybe Wednesday night, I'll play PUBG. And that would be a completely different day of variety, you know, where I know people are going to come out for Bloodborne and PUBG because they always do. All right. So we'll see what happens. You know, we'll see what happens. And we'll go from there, I guess, right? That's just a situation we're in. Now, Thursday, guys, is Ask the King, if you're not aware. This Thursday is my Q&A show, Ask the King. That's going to be my main gameplay stream. Even though it's not gameplay, it's going to be my main stream. I shouldn't have said gameplay. That stream is going to be way different. Instead of starting at 10:15, it's going to start around 12:30 p.m. Pacific time. And it's a 3-hour stream of Q&A, me answering your questions. And then Thursday night, I will be doing God of War for a couple hours. And then Friday will be determined again on what happened during the week. Will it be Bloodborne? Will it be God of War? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how the week goes. And go from there. All right. So, guys, that's kind of the deal. We got God of War today and tomorrow. We got Yakuza 6 today and tomorrow. Wednesday's up in the air depending on how things go. All right. You know, Thursday, Ask the King. And then Friday, kind of up in the air. Oh, by the way, for sure, this coming Sunday, I'm doing Ultra Street Fighter 2 again. I have not played it in over a week. And as I told you guys, I want to stay in practice with Street Fighter, the classics, for when the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection comes out at the end of May. I want to be sure that I'm not rusty. And I want to be able to do some really fun stuff with that game at the end of May when it releases. So, Ultra Street Fighter 2 streams resume this weekend on Sunday. My main stream will be Ultra Street Fighter 2, okay? I know a lot of you guys really been liking that coverage and that gameplay I've been doing, so that will resume this weekend. All right, I got a couple other things to update you guys on. My website, thekingofhate.com, recently has been having some problems, although I didn't know about them. I got contacted by 2 different people in the past day who told me that they were trying to register for the site so they could post up for Ask the King this week, and they couldn't. Because apparently there's a security system, a CAPTCHA security system, that makes you verify that you're a human, and it wasn't working. Well, guess what? It's fixed. So thank you to the 2 particular people who contacted me, all right, and let me know that was going on. The issue is now fixed. So that means if you want to post up for Ask the King this week and get your questions in for my Q&A show, you can. If you want to pledge to my Patreon this month and get in on the Patron's Choice playthrough coming up next month, you can. It's all fixed, all right? So shout out to the people who let me know, all right? Let's see. Outside of that, I don't think I have much else. Oh, that's right. I do have something else to talk about. So, guys, you may hear an ambient noise in the background right now. I'm not sure if you can. Can you hear it? In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm just for the sake of argument, I'm going to up the noise here. Hold on. All right, you may have just heard the ambient noise go up, okay? You might say, can I hear it now? Well, what you're hearing, if you can hear it at all, is my air conditioner. Now, currently it's not on. It's on fan only, okay? But this week, we are going to have a heat wave in Washington, all right? It's actually going to jump about 20 degrees, which means in this office, it's going to be about 80 to 90 degrees on a daily basis. Sorry, but that's just not a working environment. There's no way that I could stream games like that, especially with all the equipment in here. I got to try to keep the ambient temperature down so the equipment doesn't get damaged. So I'm going to be turning on my air conditioner. It's sometime this week. Will it be today? It might. Right now, it's currently 77 degrees in the office, so it's not so bad. But as the day gets longer, and usually what happens is during the afternoon, so let's say starting around roughly 1 p.m., the sun usually comes out and starts beating on my office wall. This whole room heats up like an oven. And so if we end up getting into the 80s, I'm probably going to have to turn on the air conditioner. And, I know it's kind of weird. It's late April, and already I'm turning on the air conditioner, but it's kind of just required here to do what I do for a living, Without this, I'd be sweating my nuts off, and all the equipment would be at risk of overheating, and it would be a bad situation. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because you're probably going to hear it, all right? You may honestly start hearing the air conditioner go on and off in the background of videos. Now, while I'm playing games, you probably won't notice it at all because you're just going to hear the soundtrack of the game and the sound effects of the game playing, and you probably will never notice it. But during downtime, during vlogging like this, where I'm talking on a pre-stream or, during other stuff, maybe a quiet time in the game, yeah, you're probably going to hear it. So apologies, guys. There's nothing I can do about it. The good news is with all the soundproofing foam and everything I have in the office, it's not super loud anymore like it used to be years ago. But, it is what it is. There's not much I can do. It's actually kind of weird because right now we're about to have a heat wave in Washington State. I called my mom yesterday, who still lives in Connecticut, back on the east coast of the United States. She says they're freezing. For some reason, temperatures have been way low, and they've been having ice and snow, and ridiculous. It's been absolutely just nuts out over there, apparently. Like the complete opposite of what you would expect. All right. So there you go, guys. Pretty bad. All over the country, it's really weird. You got heat in one place and cold in the other. Whatever happened to spring? Whatever happened to the moderate temperatures of the middle, season of spring? Okay. All right, guys. So that's it. I think that's all I really have to talk about in regards to kind of pre-stream. Let's play it by ear. Let's see how God of War goes this week. If the streams pick up, if your YouTube videos keep staying as good as they've been, then great. We'll keep playing God of War all week. But, if things taper off, if the streaming doesn't pick up, then sadly I'll probably have to switch it over to mix it up and do some Bloodborne and PUBG. We'll see. All right. Oh, yeah. One final thing. Okay. One final thing. I completely forgot about this. It's Monday. And what that means, guys, is that the stream stats have reset for the week. So shout out to King Swaggins, who was last week's top contributor, and the very best was the second most contributor of last week. All right. Yeah, so right, as you can see right now, currently top, we got Murdoch in first. Genetic Gamer and Babyman Gaming are tied for second. But, we just started the first stream of the week. So not surprised there's not a ton here. I think we got Mike Lee, Eternal Napalm, YOLO Dopper. We got all those people in the top 10. So thanks you guys for your contributions. And yes, anything that you contribute via cheers, is contributing to that ongoing leaderboard this week. You have a chance to get up on the leaderboard, okay? Good stuff. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's now jump into the plugs. Let's get the plugs out of the way, and then we'll get to shout-outs for people who are cheering, subbing, and tipping here on pre-stream, and then we'll get started with the stream. Sound good? Alrighty. Nice refreshing kickstart. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys very much for your support. Obviously, you guys have been supported the past year on streams. Right now, people are being very supportive with the YouTube videos of God of War on YouTube. So thanks everywhere for your viewership. If you'd like to go above and beyond right now, all right? If you'd like to go above and beyond just being a standard stream viewer or video watcher, in particular, as you know, the streams have been pretty slow around God of War. So if you'd like to do other stuff besides just watching to help out and allow me to keep doing this full time, there's many things you can do. The first would be Patreon. And in particular, this month, these next 9 days, I take that back. There's, what, 8 days left? 7 days left. Oh, my God. Time is flying by, guys. There's 7 days left in April, all right? Which means there's 1 week left for you to pledge to my Patreon and get in on the perks for the month of April. In particular, this month, you may want to contribute. Reason being, we hit the funding level. Excuse me, not the funding level. We hit the subscriber level here on Twitch in order to do a fun celebratory event, which is going to be the return of the Patron's Choice playthrough. So if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon funding drive this month, you'll be nominating and then voting on games over the course of May to become a full playthrough right here on stream and on YouTube. Previous games that have been included as full playthroughs were games such as Super Mario Sunshine, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Persona 4, various Yakuza games, and the like. There's been many, many more than that as well. You know, Patron's Choice has always been a really fun event where people, in a lot of ways, they always seem to nominate and vote on games that normally are not games that are in my comfort zone, which is good because I get exposed to whole new game franchises and things that maybe I've never done before. Like, for perfect example here is Spyro. I never played Spyro the Dragon. I played it last year. I loved it, and I did a completionist run of the game because I actually liked it so much. So there you go. That's a perfect, absolutely perfect example of how Patron's Choice has become a really fun and entertaining event, all right? So give it a look over at patreon.com/darksidefil, okay, guys? And your contributions obviously allow me to keep doing this full-time for a job, which I love doing. I love sharing my daily gameplay experiences with you guys. And it earns you stuff, like, for example, as I just mentioned, being part of Patron's Choice, but also there's other perks involved, like getting thank you messages in my YouTube videos, or getting verbal shout-outs. For example, some people will be getting some verbal thank you shout-outs on Ask the King later this week. You can get your questions answered for sure on my Ask the King show, which happens every 2 months. Or you can even get a private Q&A video made, all right, just for you. So check it out, patreon.com/darksidefil. 7 days left to contribute. It's a great way to contribute, in particular, if you're not able to make these live streams of God of War and you're watching stuff on demand on YouTube. It's a great way to contribute because you get something back for it while you're still directly supporting my efforts to keep doing this, okay? All right, guys, that's number one. Number two is my Teespring shop, which is all kinds of fun merchandise, including, oh, by the way, Eternal Napalm says, I don't see anything in the Patrons Lounge to submit nominations yet. Yes, it doesn't start till May. It'll be the first week of May that I'll set that up to have the lounge area where you can post up nominations for the Patrons Choice playthrough. So, Eternal Napalm, just relax a little bit. You jump at the gun, but it's cool. All the action will begin in May. All right. So, guys, number two, my Teespring shop, where you can get all kinds of fun merchandise, including T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, all kinds of fun stuff. All right. Great quality stuff, by the way, which I can attest to because I own a bunch of it myself. I personally use the mug every single day on stream. I have 4 T-shirts as well as a sweatshirt. I love all of them. All right. So, great quality stuff. And anything you buy from my Teespring shop, it helps me out tremendously because I get a commission from it. So check it out at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming. It's been a couple weeks since anyone bought anything, but thanks to those who did in the past month or so buy stuff. A couple people did. Thank you for that. All right. But of course, guys, in regards to live streaming, since you're probably, most of you who are listening to this right now, are live here on the stream. I realize some people do watch my pre-streams on demand on YouTube. The majority of people who hear this are watching live on stream, all right? If you would like to get a shout out during today's stream because you're feeling hype, you're liking the God of War gameplay, maybe you just had a question to ask me or just want to leave a nice message, whatever it is, you can do 3 different things to get a shout out during the stream. Either cheer with bits, subscribe to the channel, or you could tip me. If you do any of those 3 things, I'll give you a verbal shout out during the course of today's gameplay session. There are a few criteria for it, however, so please listen up. Number one, please be concise. The shorter, the better. Do not be long-winded. If you leave me a message with 20 sentences, chances are I'm not going to give you a shout-out because I'm not going to waste my time reading 20 sentences on stream. Just being real talk with you guys, all right? Number two, please be positive. If I see messages that are negative, that are insulting to other people, oh, this guy insulted you, Phil, how do you react? You're not going to get that from me, all right? The bottom line is this is a positive gameplay stream to enjoy God of War and share that experience with you guys. This is not a stream for me to be starting drama. This is also not Ask the King. That Q&A show is happening this Thursday. So long-winded questions, or if you want detailed answers, please submit your questions over on the kingofhate.com forums for Ask the King. That's already in place, all right? This is a place, if you want to just kind of contribute, have a cool shout-out during the stream, say something funny, say something quick, now's the opportunity, and that's how you should use these shout-outs, all right? Bottom line is 95% of people use shout-outs effectively. It's a very small group of people who try to troll or just don't understand. So just understand it is at my discretion to decide what I am going to shout out. But for the most part, people do get credit for their contributions. All right. Now, if you would also like a visual representation and thank you for your contributions, then there are three ways you could do that. Either if you cheer 50 bits or more, if you subscribe to the channel and wait a couple minutes for the share button to appear and you click on it, or if you tip me $5 or more. If you do any of those things, you'll actually get an on-screen pop-up visual message as well. All right. And those are animations made by and designed by longtime viewer, fan, and chat moderator Popsicolo. So shout out to Pops for making those for us. Very exciting. And, very awesome. They add to the streams in a big way. All right. So thank you, Pops, for that. Definitely. So, there you go, guys. You can get visual and verbal recognition for your contributions, and it's much appreciated, whatever you guys do, all right? A couple final quick things. Number one, we are in the midst of April. We've got 1 week left in the month, and we already hit the subs goal for the month, which is great. But we're trying to hit a tier 2 subscriber goal, all right? We had a little bit of a setback because, as you guys know, over the weekend I had the day off, so we lost a bunch of subs during that day. We're currently down to 439 subscribers. However, we're looking to hit 475, and if we do, I'm going to be doing a special episode of DSP Tries It where I head out and I get a funny item, some kind of like a maybe as seen on TV product or one of these weird things, these gadgets, and I'm going to do a funny DSP Tries It with that gadget, all right? I did one of these videos in January. People absolutely loved it and said they wish I would do more of them, so here's the opportunity for us to qualify to do it, all right? So please consider subscribing to the channel if you're not a sub. I see a lot of you guys in the stream chat who are regulars, but you're not subbed. If you sub, you get a bunch of stuff, including access to all of the emotes, including the ever-popular DSP Pepe emote that people are already using right now, okay? That's number one. Number two, you will not have to watch advertisements if and when I take ad breaks, and typically I take at least one ad break during a major stream, so there you go. You wouldn't have to watch the advertisements. And then number three, you get a cool subscriber crown chat badge. All right. That being said, that chat badge is pretty cool. It's a crown that starts as bronze. After 3 months of support, it turns to silver. After 3 more months of support, meaning 6 months total, it turns to gold. And then after a year of support, you get some nice rubies to be encrusted on that crown. All right. So really good stuff. Really exciting. Hope that you guys will consider subbing. It helps out me. It helps out everyone on the channel. It's a growing community, right? It's good stuff. And hopefully you will consider it. All right. Last but not least, guys, if you're wondering, gee, Phil, you mentioned cheering, you mentioned subbing, and I see you do all that through Twitch here, but I don't know how you tip. I'm looking here. I don't see anything about tips. What are you talking about when you say I can tip you? Well, tipping is through a third-party website. So the way it works is there's two ways to do it. You can either look below my stream right now if you're here live on Twitch, and there's a grid of information, including a link to my DSPGaming YouTube channel, a link to my personal website. There's the rules of the stream, which I recommend everyone read. Very important you understand the rules before we get started here. But in addition to all of that, there's a link, all right, a link to tipping me. It's a picture of me posing with Pokemon. If you just click on it, it'll take you to my tips page where you can either leave a completely anonymous tip, or if you'd like a shout out, you can leave your name and a message. Now, if you don't see any of that information I just described, more than likely it means you're probably on a mobile device watching, and it doesn't show any of that information. If that's the case, you can just type !tip into the stream chat at any time. That will prompt Nightbot to bring up the command, and you can click on the link in the chat. That will also take you to the tips page. All right. And there you go. Sounds good? All right, guys. It is time for us to start doing shout-outs for those who have contributed here on the stream so far. So let me actually refresh my Muxie, and then we'll start doing some shout-outs. All right, so first of all, overnight, it was actually Murdoch who let me know about the issue with the website. And with this cheer, he did a 200-bit cheer overnight and said, hey, Phil, just wanted to let you know, currently it's impossible to register for your forums. That CAPTCHA system is broken and not working. You might want to take a look at that. Thank you, Murdoch. It was you and one other person who overnight told me about this. It is now fixed. So anyone who wants to register over at thekingofhate.com, in particular this week, you might want to post up a question for Ask the King. But coming up, you may want to participate in the Patron's Choice event, okay? It's all working now. So thank you for that information. Very much appreciated. And thank you for the cheer. All right, Genetic Gamer cheered 100 bits, and said, you are the only real streamer on Twitch. There are a lot of popular streamers who will only play if the game sponsors them. Fuck them and keep up the good work. Well, first of all, I disagree with your statement, Genetic Gamer. There are a lot of legitimate, great streamers on Twitch. I know, because personally I can attest that I know at least one or two of them. All right. But that being said, I understand what you're saying. Sadly, it is a commercial age. It's not like it used to be. You know, 10 years ago when I started on the internet making gameplay videos, it wasn't business. In fact, there was no business behind it at all. You couldn't make money doing it. You couldn't even monetize gameplay videos on YouTube. And keep in mind, back then, 10 years ago, live streaming was not prominent. Yes, you could do it on places like Justin TV, but it wasn't something that you would do for money. So someone like me who's been around the block for 10 years, and I did this, by the way, for 2 years before I ever made a penny doing it, there's a history there. You know that I'm a lover of games. You know that I'm a longtime gamer, and I do this for the love of gaming. And yes, if I'm making money and paying my bills while I'm doing it as well, that's amazing. But for the most part, I'm doing it because I'm a gamer, all right? Sadly, I hate to say it, there's a lot of big-time guys out there who are doing it just because there's a paycheck involved. And yes, there is, I would almost call it not a syndrome, but almost an epidemic of the big guys, the big streamers, the big YouTubers taking paychecks to play and promote games. And it's sad. It really is that you don't have that legitimate, oh, this is an honest experience where this guy's just sitting down to play the game and have fun. That's really, a lot of it's been lost with the bigger people on YouTube and Twitch these days, all right? I'm not going to name names, but there are really big guys who bring in, you know, thousands of viewers on stream, hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and the only reason they're playing a game is because they're taking a paycheck for it. And I don't even mean ad revenue or stream contributions. I mean, they actually have a contract with the game developer and publisher to get paid to play their game. And I hate this practice. I'm 100% against it. I believe that if you're going to watch someone, they should be a legitimate gamer who's playing the game for the love of the game and not for just taking the big paycheck, you know? In particular, if you're already bringing in hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube and getting ridiculous amount of contributions from stream viewers, you don't need the lucrative contract on top of that anyway. These guys are rolling in fucking dough, and sadly, I hate to say it, but people jump on that hype bandwagon. Oh, this guy's popular, I have to watch him, regardless of the fact that the guy may not even be as good as other legitimate streamers out there who get completely overlooked. This happens regularly, where the guy who, just because he has the tens of thousands of viewers on for a new game, gets all the views, and the little guy gets shoved under the rug, right? It sucks. And by the way, I'm just not talking about me. I'm talking about lots of people on Twitch who are good. They're good streamers. They're legitimate. They just want to have fun. They're good with their stream interactions. You know, they put out entertaining content, and they get completely overlooked for these big guys who are already rolling in dough. It sucks. It really does suck, guys. But it is reality. It's been like this everywhere. In television, movies, the music industry. Now, sadly, gaming has become so big that people just playing games has become a giant industry. And now it's become just as commercialized as everything else. You know, I'm one of the few people who's really never changed. I've always had the same philosophies. I've never really sold out. I will never take a paycheck to just play a game. All right. Even though I've been offered, trust me, guys, I've been offered a lot. In particular, indie game studios. All the time, I'm getting offers from them. Will you play our game? How much would you charge to do a playthrough of our game? And I'm like, dude, I'm not charging anything because I'm not playing your game for money. That's ridiculous. So, tough titties. And I get those offers all the time. You ever wonder why some big streamers are playing random indie games out of nowhere? Well, now you know why, guys, because I get those same offers. Yeah, but I'm not going to do it. You know, I'm going to play what I want. I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to stick to my guns and my philosophy. It's kept me going for 10 years, and hopefully it keeps me going in the future. All right? So thank you, Genetic Gamer. I don't agree with you that I'm the only real streamer. I think there are lots of actual legitimate quality streamers out there who are just like me, who are legitimate gamers and play for the love of the game. Sadly, they just get overlooked a lot when it comes to the fact that the big guys get all the traffic. And there's not much you can do about it as long as we're in an industry that's all pay for popularity, pay for promotion, pay. You know what I mean? A big commercialized industry. It's going to stay that way. All right. All right. Shout out to Eternal Napalm. Eternal Napalm has cheered and said, God of War is spectacular so far. Combat, exploration, puzzles, character, story, art, and graphics are fantastic, and I agree. Mike Lee cheered, and basically, what he's saying, he's trying to compare me to other streamers. I already addressed this on pre-stream, so I'm not going to address it again. But he's like, why is it that other streamers are getting 15,000 to 30,000 viewers regularly? And why are other streamers getting thousands of viewers consistently? It's because they're different, because they're not me. They haven't had 5 years of negative slander and defamatory shit thrown against them on YouTube. They're not known infamously on the internet for shit mostly they didn't do. I mean, of all the things that I've been accused of, there's one thing that's true. In 2016, my accident, right? Okay, that's one thing. And by the way, not what people say about it, because they lie about what happened. They say, oh, Phil, this happened in front of thousands of people and small children. Wrong. It happened in front of 90 people on a pre-stream where no one was paying attention at all, and it was no audio, and you couldn't see anything, and you know what I mean? So it's all completely lies. But people actually believe that I'm a guy who, like, did this horrible thing in front of thousands of children, because they're idiots. They don't do any research or anything. They just believe the slander for the sake of negative slander. So there you go. I'm in a situation very different from most other big streamers. You cannot compare apples to oranges, you know? It's actually remarkable that after all the shit I've been through in the 10 years and the 5 straight years of slander, all right, it's very, very ridiculous to even ask, gee, why can't Phil get viewership like other big streamers? That's why. When people look me up on YouTube or on Twitch, isn't that the guy who had the accident? Isn't that the guy who cheats people? Isn't that the pedophile? Isn't that the racist? No, it's none of those things. But sadly, that's all people have said for 5 fucking years, and YouTube still promotes those videos. So what do you expect? All right. So Mike Lee, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying there, but it's not anything that I could do. In fact, I'll even go as far to say this. All right. I'll go as far to say this. If you tune in, I dare you to tune in to some other streamers. Go tune in to that guy who has 30,000 views right now. Watch his stream for 5 minutes. Then come back here. Why don't you tell me the difference, all right? Maybe there's a little bit more joking around and stream interaction. Maybe not. Does that guy give shout-outs to every single contribution to his stream? Huh? Does he? Right? Does that guy have ridiculous amounts of intrusive stuff all over the screen constantly? Is it more about the game? Is it more about just putting on entertainment? What is the difference? The bottom line is, if you actually watch these guys, there's not much difference and there's not much better you can say about their streams than mine. It's the bottom line is they're popular for the sake of being popular. They've been popular for a while. They get that viral views. I don't get that, and I never will. You know? Sadly, that's how it works. 5 years of defamatory shit against me. There's not much I can do about it besides just push forward positively, which is what I've been doing. All right? So that being said, it is what it is, guys. You know? So if you like what I do, just keep supporting and keep spreading the word. Don't dwell on the fact that I'm not a top streamer getting 10 to 30,000 views, all right? It's not all about that always, all right? It's not. Excuse me. Ooh. All right. Here we go again. Mike Lee did another cheer. Said the same exact thing, so I'm just going to ignore it. And then he cheered again, and he says, why would your YouTube issues proliferate with the Twitch audience? Most people on Twitch mainly use Twitch. They're probably not aware of your stuff on YouTube. False. Most people know me on the internet for the negative shit. Sadly, it's just true. When you hear Dark Side Phil, the first thing you think of, oh, that's the guy who had an accident. That's the guy who's this negative thing or that negative thing. Most people don't even know I have a 10-year legacy on YouTube. Most people don't know I did videos on YouTube for 2 years before I ever made any money. And I actually have outlived a lot of YouTubers, and or I've been doing this much longer than most people who do it for a living. Most people don't know that I'm the most prolific gaming YouTuber there is. I put out more gameplay videos and playthroughs and hours of gameplay in the last 10 years than any other human on planet Earth. They don't know any of this. All they know is the negative shit. So you're wrong there. You're actually wrong, Mike Lee. The sad fact is 5 years of slander does have a negative effect on someone's reputation. No matter how much you try, there's nothing you can do about it. All right? YOLO Dopper cheered and said, you have to do something to stand out from other streamers. Maybe do cosplay. All right, enough. YOLO Dopper cheers are some of the most stupid shit. Seriously. Baby Man Gaming cheered. He says, Phil, sorry I couldn't be on your streams recently. The reason being I get messages from detractors saying they post on Kiwi Farms that you're stealing money from children. Yeah, it's because they're idiots, okay? Anything on Kiwi Farms is pretty much for those who are of a very low mental capacity and or already have mental issues. There's no reason to ever go to Kiwi Farms if you're a normal functioning human. Just saying. He says, the point is this gets annoying. How do you deal with it? Well, Baby Man Gaming, there's two things you could do. You can either just put up with it, meaning when you get people messaging you, you go use the ignore command so they can't do it anymore. You report them to Twitch, you get them banned. Or you could do what I do and just disable whispers on Twitch. There's no reason you will ever need to be whispered by anyone on Twitch, period. It's that simple. You don't want people personally contacting you on Twitch about shit. And I've turned off whispers on Twitch. I don't have private messaging on YouTube. If people want to reach me on the internet, there's various ways they can do it, like my Twitter or my public email. I don't need to have constant messaging and shit, you know, attacking me here on Twitch or whatever. That's why it's disabled. The Twitch messaging system is very silly. There's no reason for it to exist, so turn it off. And then you don't ever have to worry about that shit ever again. There you go. And then Baby Man Gaming cheered again. He says, I'm loving your God of War playthrough. Thanks for the advice. And then he cheered again another 100 bits. So thank you, Baby Man Gaming. What I'll actually do is at the end of today's pre-stream, I'll give you guys an update on the standings. Because, you know, there is the weekly standings that are going on right now with the stream chat. And I'll let you know how everyone's in ranking, okay? Baby Jimba cheered 25 bits. He says, I think this game looks pretty great. I've heard tell that a few people are already upset with the endings. Hopefully they're not that bad and 2018 doesn't become the year of shitty endings. Well, the only game I could think of so far that had a shitty ending was Far Cry 5. Both those endings were absolutely terrible. I agree. The only other game recently that I beat was Ni no Kuni 2. That one had a good ending. So, in that regard, it's kind of like, for me, recently, one really good ending, one really shit ending. So, I guess we'll see what happens with the endings. What you got to remember, guys, with God of War, God of War has almost always had these kind of crazy cliffhanger endings. All right? I mean, hell, if you remember the ending of God of War 3, Kratos supposedly died, but obviously he didn't because here he is, right? So it always has these crazy kind of weird cliffhanger endings to keep you guessing what's going to happen next. I would almost guarantee that this God of War is going to have a trilogy, much like the original God of War did. So don't feel, oh no, just because this game may have a shitty ending, it's probably going to continue in a trilogy, okay? All right. Shout out to Chubby Evie, who tipped me $10. Thank you very much, Chubby Evie, for the $10 tip. Very much appreciated. And they ask, what is your favorite soda? Oh, jeez. Truth of the matter is, I don't drink regular soda that often. If I really want something very refreshing, I usually drink Sprite or something like that, like a lemon lime soda. If I'm out having, like, fast food quickly somewhere, typically I'll either get Coke or Pepsi. I like cherry Coke more than regular Coke. Pepsi, I think, is, like, more refreshing than Coke. For some reason, I don't know why. But in particular, I don't have, like, a favorite soda. I don't have a soda, oh, man, I crave it. I want to drink it all the time. When I was a kid, I did, but I don't anymore. Like, in fact, most days I either drink just water or at dinner, I have various fruit juices to help not only with, you know, my metabolism and my acid levels in my body and all kinds of shit, but it's just healthier for you, too. So, you know, cherry juice, blueberry juice, I drink all kinds of stuff like that. So I don't usually drink soda. There you go. BB Man Gaming cheered again. He says, will you play Conan the Barbarian on PS4? I believe that is an upcoming PS4 release, right? But I don't think it has a release date yet. If and when the game starts getting a release date, I'll consider, you know, looking into it. For now, I'm pretty sure it does not have a current release date, so I don't know. I mean, actually, what I'm probably going to do, come May, early May, I'll probably take some time to go through the gaming release schedule again and update my game release calendar, because right now, as of after May, I have, like, no game releases on the calendar, so I definitely need to go through it and figure out what exactly to do here in regards to game releases for the rest of the year. So, all right, Baby Man Gaming cheered again. I said, do you like Pac? I think he means Tupac. And in particular, no, I was never really a fan of Tupac. Back in the day when rap was big, like Biggie Smalls and Tupac, I wasn't into it. It wasn't until after that with Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem. That's kind of when I got into rap for about a year because my friends were into it and they bought all the albums. So every time I was in a car with them, I had to listen to it. But I did get into it and I ended up memorizing all the lyrics and everything. But yeah, after that, didn't ever really care about it again. So there you go. Owly Guy cheered and says, liking God of War so far, you should consider playing Super Mario Galaxy 2 as your downtime game when nothing is coming out this summer. Hey man, it's like I said, it's in the hands of the patrons coming up. It will be the patrons from this month who during May will be nominating and voting on the game for the Patrons' Choice playthrough that more than likely will start up around June-ish, which is summertime, right? So hey, pledge $5 or more this month. Get in on that control, guys. Unprecedented amount of control over my content. I mean, this will be a game that I'll be playing for thousands of people. So definitely get in on that, all right? All right, Owly Guy just cheered and said, do you think from your playthrough so far that God of War is deserving of all the reviews that it has gotten? Well, let me put it this way. At this point, I'm 12 hours in, all right? So roughly if I'm doing the content like everyone says is in the game, I'm about a third into the game. I'll be honest, at first I thought it had a slow start in regards to the combat because it was very, very limited at the beginning of the game. But now the combat's pretty nuts. Now that you get all these different runes and all these different various combat abilities, now Atreus is getting really good with the bow and arrow, plus he can jump on enemies and hold them to stun for instant executions and the like. You know, we got all these mechanics, the axe mechanics, throwing mechanics, but then you can use your fists, rage mechanics. I just unlocked 2 different abilities during rage mode that I'm dying to try out. So all that being said, the game is opening itself up to becoming way more robust when it comes to combat. Tons of open world exploration, which was really never in God of War. It was very linear with maybe a hidden secret here or there. But for the most part, it was kind of the same old button tapping, timed, you know, and then dodge every once in a while kind of combos against enemies and bosses. And really, there wasn't much else to the game. The game has really opened itself up to narrative, to great graphics, you know, to open world exploration. Puzzles in particular are a great new addition, plus the combat. So on all cylinders, it's hitting on what you're looking for in a big AAA release. However, I'm only a third into the game. Judging by what I've seen so far, if it can stay on the same pace it's on, and if the combat keeps staying fresh, this is a key thing. If the combat stagnates halfway through the game, and the whole second half of the game is the same repetitive combat, then it's probably going to drag down my opinion of the game. But if we stay at the level we're at right now, and it keeps kind of refreshing itself, then I think it's going to be really outstanding, all right? So let's see. Let's play it by ear, and let's see what happens with the game as I continue to play through it, all right? But right now, it's looking good. However, as I said, when I first started seeing these overly positive reviews of the game, it's a very, very strong chance that game reviewers just haven't had their hands on a great game recently, and the games that everyone's been kissing the butt really haven't been so great. I keep bringing this up, and I'm going to say it again. Monster Hunter World is a game that's a repetitive grind. It has a very bare-bones story. And quite frankly, I can't believe so many people love that game because really, for me, it just doesn't seem very interesting at all. But people love it and kiss its ass. It's the highest-selling Capcom game ever. So then you get your hands on a game like this that has so better graphics, more content overall, right? It's not just the same repetitive grind over and over. And, amazing narrative story. Gee, I wonder why reviewers fawned all over this game. You see what I mean? So there you go. We'll see moving forward. All right, shout out to the Saurus Boy. The Saurus Boy has subscribed to the channel. Thank you very much, the Saurus Boy, for the sub. I definitely appreciate it. All right. All right. And shout out to Ace Best, who did a cheer. All right. Ace Best says, I can only watch things everyone else likes. If you don't get views, how will I watch you? Dude, see, he's joking because he said Kappa. You don't even understand, Ace Best. That is the mentality of a lot of people on the internet. Like, no lie. That's the actual honest-to-God mentality of a lot of viewers. All right? They just want to jump on whatever's popular. They just want to jump on the popularity bandwagon. All right? And so if they feel, oh, this streamer's popular, I'm going to watch them. Well, dude, I'm going to be real honest with you. How do you think guys like PewDiePie got popular? All right? It wasn't because, oh, this guy's so knock me out entertaining. He's avant-garde, such amazing content that I'm blown away. and I can't believe how good this guy is. No. It's because he screamed at a camera like a little ninny playing horror games, and a bunch of little kids thought it was funny, but his viewership skyrocketed because of it, so then everyone's got to see why it's popular. And then, once you're watching something that has millions of views, you realize, oh, I'm part of a cultural phenomenon, and I must keep coming back to see the next thing that this man will do, you know? That's kind of how it works. And it sucks because it's stupid as shit. You could get the dumbest content getting the most popularity and views because of that. And there's literally people right now on Twitch who will say, I want to see God of War, but I will only watch a stream that's got 10,000 or more views because I want to join and see what this giant crowd mob mentality is acting and saying about the game. And that's what they'll watch. You know what I mean? It's sad. But that's how it is. That's always how it's been. That's how it was on YouTube. That's how it is on Twitch. It's this mob mentality of the common viewer who doesn't know any better. They don't realize that most of the time, right, if you jump on what's popular just for the sake that it's popular, you may not even be getting anything as good as some of the guys who are doing this legitimately because they love games, you know. But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. You know, you're not going to change that. Again, as long as we have the same kind of commercialized mentality when it comes to entertainment, we're always going to have this problem. Because you're going to have people who don't care about the commercialization. They just want to put out fun stuff, or they're true fans of whatever it is, and they will never get the popularity because they're not about selling out. They're not about getting the views and doing all that crap, you know? So it is what it is. All right, and YOLO Dopper, shoot again. He says, I tried Monster Hunter World. It was fun, and it was fun with friends. You can hang out and chill. It's boring if you play it by yourself. Yeah, and as I've been saying, this is the trend, all right? This is the big trend of games that's been happening the past 3 to 4 years. Co-op games that are only fun if you play them cooperatively with your friends. And honestly, it's not the games or the gameplay that's the most fun aspect of it. It's the social aspect. Yeah, okay, Destiny is boring as dirt if you play it by yourself. But if you're playing Destiny in a squad of 3 people with close friends and you're interacting and you're talking and you're chatting it up and you're having fun, then it's a lot better experience, right? Monster Hunter World. Yeah, playing it solo, it's a repetitive grind. You're killing the same monsters, trying to get drops to craft better armor and the like. But if you're doing it with friends and you're strategizing and you're interacting and you have this feeling of camaraderie and success when you finally take down a really tough hunt or a monster, you feel something good about it, right? This has been a fad in the past 3 to 4 years. This fad is going to die, and something else is going to move it. We already have it with the Battle Royale fad, right? So, yeah, I agree with you. Again, I'm not shitting on anyone who likes Monster Hunter. I'm not. I know for a fact there's a big community of people who love it, and the fact that the game can get a die-hard group of people who love it, much like Dark Souls and the From Software community, right? If you invest a lot of time and effort into Monster Hunter, you can learn the nuances of the combat engine. You can learn all the different weapons. You can learn the little minute differences between the monsters' attack patterns and hit them for massive damage and counterattack them and grind through and yappa-derp-a-derp. And the game's fun. For me, that's pretty much the epitome of what makes a boring game. I don't want to play a game where you're constantly fighting repetitive monsters that are very similar. You have to, you know, basically do the same grinding shit over and over and over. And by the way, there's no end game. You know, the story is kind of a side thing to what you're actually doing in the game. You know, for me, meh, I don't care. For a lot of people, that's a big thing. It's been the fad. So that's why Monster Hunter did so well this year. It was right in line. It was the perfect storm of launching Monster Hunter for the first time on mainstream consoles so it could have a wide viewer base, right? A wide player base, what I meant to say. And jumping in and going right along with the current fad of what was popular. If Monster Hunter World had released 3 years ago, it would have failed. But if it released this year, because of the timing, it was massively successful. So there you go. There you go. All right. Shout out to Jerome Style, who just subscribed to the channel. Thank you, Jerome Style, for the sub. I appreciate that. All right, guys. I think we're good. I think it's now time to begin with God of War here on stream. Another 4+ hours of gameplay. I'll be honest with you guys, it's already 80 degrees in my office. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the fan to low, but I think I am going to turn on the air conditioner And I'm going to see how it gets. Like, if it gets really fucking cold in here or whatever, I'll turn it down again. But I think I'm going to turn it on just because it's already 80 degrees. And I haven't even started, and the sun is beating on my office wall. I think it's time to turn the sucker on, and let's see how things go today. All right. Sound good? All right, guys. I think that is it. Let me go ahead and close the office door. And now it is time to begin with God of War's continuation. You guys ready? I hope you are. Thanks for being here again. Thanks for putting up with the pre-stream. And shout out to Christopher. I just got a $5 patron pledge from Christopher. Thank you very much, Christopher, for the pledge. Awesome. See, and people say, man, Phil's pre-stream, he doesn't have to mention this stuff every day. Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Well, there you go. All right. All right, guys, thanks, and let's begin. Here we go.